The place to be on Sundays is right here on the Signal 284 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. with your LoveLink crew, Lola, Hennessy, and your boy T to the E to the J. Juicy topics on all things love and relationships. Listeners' discretion is advised. The views and opinions of the LoveLink show does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the Signal 284 staff or team. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Listeners' discretion is advised. We are not experts, however, we are just a set of opinionated people having conversations that we would usually have off air amongst each other on air, along with the help of the internet. Please, we ask that you censor your words once you're calling in, as we know one can become very passionate. So try your best to be as creative as you can. Here, we use love muscle and love muffin when necessary. When texting, please make a reference to your message, as sometimes we have already moved on and are not exactly sure what you're responding to. So, in order to avoid confusion, help us to help you. Please remember that this show is completely listener-based for now. So we want to hear from you, our listening audience. You can hit us up at 284-544-6677, whether it be on WhatsApp, call, or text, or straight text. Or if you're on the website, you can just message us. It's anonymous any which way. To keep up with us, you can check in with us on our socials at The Signal 284 for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good.
Sorry.
Hold on. Before we go any further, you're a hypocrite. How you singing?
Oh.
Were you singing good night?
Oh.
Eh?
Oh.
That gives us a go
No,
ahead.
no.
That gives us the go ahead. We could say.
For what, 2 seconds? I got 2 seconds of fame just now.
Good night, LoveLink. Good night. Welcome to the Signal 284. This is your LoveLink crew. This is your girl Henna C alongside
T to the E to the J, alongside.
Lola.
Oh, she thought that she was gonna go next. Okay.
I thought I was
Okay.
next in line.
No,
I
okay.
apologize.
I switched it around.
I apologize.
Listen, we can't even say alongside Des. We don't have Uncle Old School. We're
Yes.
missing these two.
We are, but that's okay. That's okay. We will be fine tonight. Of course, those of you who are listening to us for the very first time, we want to say welcome, 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 welcome to LoveLink. You know the show where we're loving. Where we say? Linking is the love, loving is the linking. Whatever it is, tonight we are going to make sure that we are keeping the loved ones together.
Awesome.
So our main goal.
We're going to try. I don't know. I going to try because I don't know what.
Our main goal, of course, guys, is that we want to make sure that persons walk away learning something, TJ. You know, when we started this show, when we approached you about this show, this is what we spoke about.
Correct.
We want persons to walk away learning about themselves, learning about relationships, especially a lot of introspection. So tonight, we're going to have some deep, honest, hard conversations. We don't like to have hard conversations because people get uncomfortable. But tonight, we're going to have some really, really hard conversations. What's that number to call?
284-544-6677. That's 284-544-6677. If you're on YouTube, you should see it at the bottom of the screen, right?
Hopefully.
So if you're on YouTube though, right? We want you to like, share, subscribe in the meantime, between time. If you're on the radio and you want to see us, you know, our beautiful faces, check us out at the Signal 284 on YouTube. All right? We on YouTube. We on YouTube. Yo, listen, okay, I'm excited.
Wait, so we've come this far by faith?
We've come
2 seconds.
by faith. Okay, good. I got it in.
All right, guys. So today, we're going to be talking about a topic. I would say it's a continuation of last week.
Yeah.
We spoke about why women cheat, and now we're going to talk about
intimacy after infidelity. I say it right?
Yes,
you sure
Yeah,
did.
because child.
Intimacy after infidelity.
You think
No.
it's possible?
I think we should answer that before we begin the show, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll hear what the callers and other persons have to
Right.
say, and then we would give another response. We're going to
Right.
answer that question again.
Okay.
But you know me, I think with God,
All things are possible?
all things are possible. So I will go with door number 1. Yes.
Oh, we have different doors? I'm sorry. Hennessy going to be on different boards. I think you going to be on the same.
Whatever.
You know what's going to happen? I going to be by myself tonight. I just want you to know that I going to be. Oh, my God. You know what? Go ahead, TJ. I just realized this. I'm going to be by myself tonight again.
You might have callers that will come.
Probably, but go ahead, TJ.
It is possible that we can be or regain our level of intimacy after infidelity.
All right. Henny,
That's
No.
my hypothesis, and I'm sticking to it.
you don't think that it's possible?
No. Okay. No, we could go.
Okay.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Now, I honestly feel that this experience is one of the most intensely emotional experiences that anybody can ever face. I know we have a lot of other experiences, but I think this is one of the most draining emotionally. And I don't feel that we have the right to give you a textbook right or wrong response.
Technically, we can't because everybody deal with it
Correct.
differently. Yeah.
Correct.
You know, in terms of how to resume intimacy, after an affair. So we're gonna just pretty much go through the basics. We're depending on the callers and the messages to help us a little bit, but we have our plan tonight. We're going to go through certain things. Now, before we jump into the show, there was a quote, Henny, that you gave me. And that quote said that the infidelity is not in the sex, but in the secrecy. It isn't whom you lie with, it's whom you lie to.
I remember that. I get it from the internet, but yeah. It's a true thing, though. It's a true thing.
What do we think about that?
I agree. TJ, your weeds rolling.
Yeah.
It isn't whom you lie with.
It's who you lie to. It's true.
I think it's all of the above. It's whom you lie with, whom you lie to, everything.
Okay.
All right. So we spoke about cheating last week, and we said that there are different types of cheating. Of course, tonight we will only be looking at the physical. I think that would be only fair, right?
Yes.
Because we're talking about intimacy.
Yeah.
So we would only be looking at the physical aspect of, the physical type of cheating. So for those of you who were not here last week, what was our definition of cheating? What did we say cheating was?
We had given
infidelity.
I think you were the one that gave the definition that Webster gave. We just gave what we thought it was, our opinion.
Okay.
So it will be you to answer that question. Sure. Google ain't never fail. Finna Google now.
All right. So infidelity, according to Merriam-Webster, is defined as the act or fact of having a romantic or sexual relationship with someone other than your spouse or partner.
Alrighty then.
So you're basically being unfaithful. You're disloyal. All of those things.
I about to say because I went Google, just so you know. Is the act of dishonesty or unfairly? That.
Yeah, it's dishonest.
And then when I said dishonest, she had come for me last week, but so I understand. Well, yes.
Yes. And we also learned that it was a high percentage of married women that actually cheat.
I think it was like 62% or 61%.
It was a high number, and I was like, that's a lot.
It was in the 60 or 60 something percent.
So we just basically wanted persons to know that I found statistics that indicated that 15% of couples are able to successfully recover from infidelity.
Well, that's interesting.
And that's low. So that they fail. So according to those numbers, TJ, we done in the red.
Because it's because the last week you said 17% of men.
17 of men.
Only who forgave. So it's correct. It's
close, yeah.
Correct.
So 17% of men.
So hold on.
Yes.
According to what I just asked before, if it's possible. So I on a winning streak right now because only 15%. Only 15%. Only 15%. 15%. Sorry.
Yes. So according to the data that we collected from the internet.
Okay.
But
I by myself, remember?
But before we begin, I want to throw out a little wrench for those of you who know anything about Lola. I like to throw out wrenches.
Grab your buckets, please.
So wrench number one.
She said number one.
Yeah, wrench number one, because I'm ready tonight. And I would love persons to message in or call in. The number's on the bottom of the screen.
If you're on YouTube.
Yes, you can still message in and call in. It doesn't matter. But I want to know, who is the bad guy?
What you mean?
Who is the good guy?
In a cheating situation?
Yes. Is there truly a bad guy or a good guy? And should anybody really be punished for? So we're gonna do it like this, because we can't do gender. We're gonna say cheater and cheatee.
I wonder where she got that cheatee from.
Okay.
But yes.
Cameron. I got it from
who?
From Hennessy.
Oh, just
wait.
You're whispering. I understand.
Yes.
That's
So who's the bad guy?
That's a
So
good question.
I want to know, who really is the bad guy in these kind of situations? Is it the cheater or is it the cheatee? Just send us a quick little message. Let us know what you think. But I want to hear what the panel, while you guys bring in the messages, What do you guys think?
I know. Go, TJ, your answer is more wholesome than mine. You go ahead.
No, I'm really thinking because, I mean, every scenario is different. Because somebody might, let's say if I'm the one cheating on my wife, I might be the bad guy. And then somebody else might say, you drove me to do it.
Okay, I won't say that. I was going to say it depends on the situation and the relationship, because yes, so we can't do gender. So I'm going to hold myself.
Cannot do gender.
I'm going to hold myself as much as I can and not revert to a gender,
Right.
but we said last week that it is a choice though.
It is.
So it's the choice of the cheater. Why can't they be the bad guy?
So that's why I'm
That's
going
the
to go
bad
back
guy.
to say,
I'm
the
going to say the
cheater-
cheater is the bad guy.
Right.
So
The cheater is the bad guy in this
Right.
situation. Now, again, wrench number 2. So if the cheater is the bad guy, I'm just saying, remember, this is not Lola speaking. I'm just trying to bring out certain things. Because remember, we don't look at things from one point of view.
Right.
So now, what if the cheater is cheating because the cheatee ain't doing what I'm supposed to do?
Did the cheater? First of all, are we married or not married? I
We're
need to know.
we're married.
We're married. Oh.
but does it matter? Does it matter even if
Well, I
we're
don't know
married?
why- I don't
Because
know
at the
why
end of
she
the day, you know, cheating is cheating.
Yes,
Correct.
but then the point of our topic tonight is to figure out if, you know, the intimacy after it. So it means that if we're married, we staying together. If we're not married, sure, I have the opportunity to walk away.
Well,
So
well,
wait,
well,
who
well,
says?
no. Some
don't-
people who are even married have that opportunity to walk away as
Thank
well.
you so much,
It's their
TJ.
decision to walk away. And
Yeah, but then you don't make that decision lightly though. When you're married, it's a different
But-
situation.
hold on now. Even in a partnership where persons are not married, for some people it is not easy to walk away.
Agreed.
Okay.
Because
Especially
sometimes
finances.
finances,
Yeah,
children,
children.
it's just not easy. You know,
Okay.
it could be that high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to get back to
Back
what
to
you
your
were
wrench.
saying, your wrench.
What I went was again?
No, I was asking if it's fair to blame the cheatee on why
Because
the
if
cheater cheated.
Because if you sit and you have a conversation or several or multiple conversations about, well, babe, can we? Or can we? That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Whatever it is after the can we, and we had this conversation and nothing has changed. We're human, so it's easy to be like, you know what? I finna blame you because if you had just walked with me, I would not cheat.
So my answer to that is I can't blame the innocent party. If I'm the one cheating or who have cheated, there's only one person to blame, that's me.
Okay.
Regardless whether you didn't do what you were supposed to do, it is my decision
Your choice.
to leave.
All right.
I blame him.
I will accept.
Sorry.
I will accept that answer for right now. But do you think that it's both parties can be brokenhearted?
Yes. Yes.
I want to hear from you guys because sometimes we just come for the neck of the cheater.
Right.
But I want to know,
Make sure I miss the message.
do you think that both partners in this situation can be
We have a
heartbroken?
call.
Oh, we have a call
We do.
already. All right, so we need to.
Hello, good night, you're on LoveLink.
Hi, good
Hi,
night.
good
Can we turn up
night.
some volume, please?
How are
You
you?
guys doing?
Hi.
I'm doing good. Just very cool, but I'm good.
We
Understood.
send someone the warmth. We ain't have much now, but we send some.
Are you gonna send me a hug?
Oh,
Well,
Emoji.
all
I'll
right.
leave
This
it
is
alone.
this is Mr. Canada. Clearly, we recognize the voice, Henny.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I was hesitant to answer.
Just to elaborate on what Lola was saying, because again, it's a matter of if conversation was held and what are the reasons. No, there's never a good reason why someone should,
Okay.
no matter what the circumstances are.
Okay.
But here's a trick question: Is there something called innocent flirting? Because you said a while ago that flirting could be caused as cheating.
Yes, it
So
is.
is there something considered to be innocent flirting?
No.
Yes.
Because we all do it in some shape or form. Then if that is the case, then the numbers should be higher.
Yes, we have innocent flirting.
There is no such thing as
there-
innocent flirting.
I'm gonna be real. We have
There is
people
no
flirt.
When I'm not saying that people don't.
Because
Innocently.
if we look at it, if we look at it in this perspective, as the Bible says, so the Bible says, if we look at a woman and we have lust, we sin. So that's already we're already in the wrong direction.
Well, Lord, we ain't
So
lost
therefore,
You're gone too
Of course it is.
far. No, if you innocently, I think in my brain, innocently flirting is something different from what I think you are thinking about and what Lola and TJ thinking about.
if I come across there and I see, by yo, Hennessy looking damn good, I'm already having my thoughts. Damn, what she look like underneath. That's what
Lord,
I'm
don't
already
make
saying.
me blush on TV.
Yes.
Don't do that.
So don't mix
on
up
TV.
don't mix up sinning and the flirting, because sinning is thought, word, or deed, but the flirting.
But flirting is the introduction.
No, but like if you passing
You have
across
to-
somebody and you say, "Well, hey, boy, you look too bad, you look nice," and hit a one or two flirt,
That's
you want
a
to see that person
compliment.
again.
No, but that's a-
I wouldn't say
No,
that's
no,
a
no,
compliment.
after the compliment, you get hit a one or two flirt, and then you boss off, and you want to see the person again. Isn't that
On a scale
innocently
from 1
flirting?
to 10. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much time you just innocently did something and not the one in your mind, something else?
All the time?
Most men will.
Sure, I was just in the store the other
Okay.
day, and so a guy was trying to flirt with me, but guess what? He got a woman. I figured it out. One, I was like, I ain't gonna see he again.
But him on the other hand, his mind was already.
Oh, I
thinking
wouldn't
something
know.
else.
I wouldn't know.
Okay,
We are-
so let
we
me
are
make
men.
sure I understand your question. So you're calling in to state that the number that we had given was too small?
I think it is.
Okay.
For cheating? For cheating?
For cheating. I think that's
Yeah.
he's calling to say,
Oh, okay. All right.
all right.
Because if we're going based on your definition,
It should be bigger.
the number cannot be accurate.
The number should be bigger.
Okay.
We do have another
Yeah.
caller.
What?
We have another caller. So thank you so much.
I'll call
Continue
back.
to listen. Correct. All right.
Good night, you're on LoveLink.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Nice.
I haven't heard this voice
I
in a
know
long
his
time.
voice. Hi. Hey, so long.
I'm listening and I'm thinking about this idea of cheating. And this idea of cheating and cheating. In cheating, there are two victims.
They're both.
The person who cheats and the person to whom the cheating is done, as we put it. Because both suffer in one way or the other.
I agree.
The notion that somebody cheated on me, well, that's how we put it. But the person cheated on himself. And when you do that, you're inclined to do it with other people. It's not just one person. I'll be like, it's just a one-off. But you see, and this idea of innocent flirting, there's nothing innocent
I
about flirting.
agree. Round of applause. for that.
Intentional. Whether we plan to sit in the past, in the future, it's intentional. And so, when we look at these kind of issues, we try to apportion blame. And the notion that, well, she did that, so I did something else, or he did that, and so therefore, to me, that is nonsense. You don't cheat because somebody cheated on you. You
Agreed.
cheated because you wanted to
You
do it in the
want-
first place. Whether that was the final motivating force is beside the point. Because if it wasn't a part of you and you were principled enough, you wouldn't do it even if it was done to you.
Correct.
But that's a nice little excuse to say, well, no, I'm free to do it
Correct.
because you had the propensity to do it anyway.
Right.
So there's no winner here when it comes to cheating, because both
agree.
parties are affected, because one might be emotionally disturbed, brain, whatever you call it, and that but the other one who committed the act of cheating also suffers.
I
Because
agree.
that person, believe it or not, is going to take that to another relationship. That's the kind of thing we call baggage.
Okay.
And so
Following.
one thing leads to another. It's not, we like to say it's a one-off, and we go through all these niceties and all that stuff, And but to go back to the original idea, of course, it's possible to have intimacy after somebody cheats. The question is, how much are you willing to not forget but forgive,
Forgive.
and how open you are in discussing what happened?
Yes.
And you have to build the guardrails to ensure that
Yes.
this doesn't happen again. And that means more communication. That means deeper level of intimacy. And by intimacy, I'm not talking physical.
So, Carla, you doing a whole show for us one time?
That's good.
I don't tell this particular caller he need to be on. He need to come and visit the show.
That's good though.
But he tell me no. But it's okay.
But if you go through everything, Carla,
But we
No, but that's
I
good.
do appreciate the feedback though.
I was only going based on what I've heard so far.
And,
All right.
and we appreciate that.
but
So,
you spit so much gems there just now. It's like this a wrap. But we really do appreciate you, and I want you to call back because I have a lot more wrenches here to throw out. So I'm glad that you were able to I guess deal with the
Elaborate
first two. You dealt with the first two wrenches, so thank you so much for
So
that.
we'll just reiterate. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right.
All right. Okay, so
First of all, I don't agree. I just want to let I know. I do not agree with what he said in terms of
both.
people, the person that did the cheating feels some kind of way. Because I personally, honestly, I don't think they feel anyway. Because if you're cheating, my thing is if you cheat, because he said is no one and done. So if you're continuously cheating on your partner, it's a choice that you're continuously making over and over. What emotion are you feeling? Let's be honest. What are you feeling? If you cheating, you get caught. You speak about it. You get caught again. You speak about it. What emotion you feeling?
Okay.
Nothing.
No, I beg to differ because this person still is a human being. Just putting that out there. They're still a human being, and they are actually fearful that they might lose both relationships. Because now that you have been exposed and you literally now, as I said, they can go through the same fear of rejection that if I choose my spouse, the spouse might reject me. So they're still going through. Listen, I don't think people, and I said this last week on the show, I don't think people think ahead when they do certain selfish acts. You understand, TJ? So it's like, okay, I did my thing. I'm really sorry that I did my thing. But I don't want to lose what I have here. This is what I'm telling you, that persons, they have shared stuff like that with me. They don't want to lose what they have here. So now, okay, I got found out, and now I'm afraid that my wife would leave me. So they are also going through a lot of emotions at the same time. It might be their fault. It might be self-inflicted. I understand all of that. But they're still human. And they still will be fearful of the rejection.
And we have a message.
Uh-oh.
It's a very interesting one.
Okay.
And we have to answer the
All right.
question.
Oh.
Lola. Okay.
Oh, wait. What just happened?
The person said, "Hi. Have any of you guys been cheated on? If so, share your experience."
Well, what's the purpose of that question? So we are going to answer that question, and that helps.
I don't know the person asking. We
The
have
show.
the
How?
person messaging.
That was just another wrench. That's all.
That's all.
Okay, so we begin with TJ.
Okay, sure.
Oh, I know. You see, if you see why? Anyways, go ahead.
So yes, I have been cheated on, and
Sorry.
and the reality is, Oh, what the question was?
If you've ever been cheated on, and share your experience.
Oh, share
That's about
experience.
it.
But share experience how? What does that mean?
No. So I'll share my experience. For me, I'm a kind of different kind of person. It wasn't so much about me getting mad at my girlfriend at the time. We were in a situation where, we were dating long distance to some degree. But at that time when she cheated on me, I embraced her. I have the ability to not allow hurt and pain to consume me to the point where I am incapable of seeing the issue or listening and realize that, okay, she might be going through as much hurt and pain that I might be going through. Because having to face your boyfriend and say, I cheated, is very hard to do. And at that time, her silence drew me to understand, or drew me to ask the question, why are you silent? Why are you withdrawn? What's on your mind? And I was the one to bring it out.
Yeah,
But at the end of
breed, friend.
no, but at the end of the day, because a still tongue, a soft answer turneth away wrath. And I realized that at that time, I needed to be the adult of the situation. I needed to bring or begin the healing process, even though she was the one to do the infraction. I was forgiven.
You were forgiven or forgiving?
I was forgiving.
Okay.
You is a whole different breed. But to answer the person that messaging, yes, I've been cheated on. I have been cheated on. I was naive for a very long time, but then I did math. The math has started to math. And that's when the checking the phone situation has started to happen. Which I ain't gonna never do again. I promise you. If I ever get in a relationship, it ain't never happening again. Cause
Oh, you're not checking the phones again? Okay, I got you.
the craziness. But any which ways, the point of the matter of the fact is, I was cheated on. I was very hot, and this is why I could say the person who cheated, I don't think he was very remorseful at all. I don't think he cared about the fact that I found out that he was cheating, and it was multiple women. He introduced me to some, and then he stopped introducing me to them. So yeah, it was multiple women over a few period of a good couple of years. But he didn't feel bad, and he only felt bad because I caught him. That's about it. But he kept doing it. So that's why I'm saying that the cheating party, if you continuously do it, there's a point where somebody did it once, and it's like, oh God, they mash up, they hurt, they remorseful so bad, they ain't going to again be da. And then they have the ones I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, no problem. And they keep doing it. And they don't stop. So how you feel remorseful, how you hurt? I don't believe that. That's not my story, but yeah. That's
All right.
that.
So I have a personal message. Because persons, even though we give the number, they still feel obligated to message my personal phone. And it says, I don't think anyone should put themselves through working out a relationship that had sex with someone else. Even though men can cheat without feelings versus women. The thought that my man was sleeping with someone and with someone, then what will stop them from doing it again?
Thank you. I have a message as well. It says, TJ is a special kind of special. He sure is. Because.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I don't know. To answer that question, I haven't been in much anybody who knows me, I haven't had many relationships. As I tell people all the time, I had 2 boyfriends and I married one. So at the end of the day, yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Bust chest. We've all experienced our bust chest.
Bust chest island. We had never heard from that person again, on that other station. But
yes, we all have experienced.
Yeah, we all.
bust
I'm
chest.
sure somebody. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody may not have, but they have people in a wall. Most of us has experienced some kind of heartbreaking, somebody cheating It happens.
Correct.
Some
So
of us
thanks
just
for
don't
that.
get
I
worried.
mean, we really digressed for a minute.
Yes, we did. No, we're
But
back.
We're gonna come back, and I want to know if we have to look at the cheatee, no,
Cheatee. Or the cheater.
the cheatee,
The cheatee, okay.
So if we have to look at the cheatee, I'm getting a little so confused now. What are some of the things that person? What are some of the emotions that person
Jealousy.
go through?
Jealousy.
Let's just throw them out. Just throw them out at me.
Jealousy.
Hurt.
Okay, jealousy.
Rage.
I think it's a lot of obsessive thinking. I
Yes.
think it's a lot of over the top. What did he do with them? What did he do with them?
Right.
Or what did I do?
Right. Or
Right.
'Cause
why,
most times
or
it's
why
that.
am I not? What, so
Enough.
what does she have or he have that I don't
Right.
have? So yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
And there are some, I will admit, that are nonchalant about the whole thing. There are some.
yes.
But I think one that, does it for me, were they protected or unprotected? Because you could.
In this day and age, who ripping out protection? Who? Let's be real. Let's be real.
So it's a lot of things going through your mind. As I said, the overthinking comes into play.
Rage,
and that is
jealousy.
not cool. And then of course now we have the other flip side, because now that starts to stress us out. We go through depression, we go through, as she stated, rage, we go through eating. We
Oh,
go
yeah, I'm
through
a eater.
not eating.
Oh no! I'm an eater. Do you see how I look? I'm an eater.
Remember the song Boss Jessie?
Sing no.
You
Go
can-
ahead. Go
no.
ahead. I'm waiting for you.
But the song indicates that you would lose weight when somebody cheat
Well, they
on
do
you.
say if you do want to lose weight, just checking your partner phone. Boom.
Oh my gosh.
Easy.
But then now the person who cheated, tell me what emotions do they go through? Because
Not
remember, they're
one,
still
they
human.
sleeping beautifully.
They're still human beings.
Snoring
Henny.
and gibbling.
No, they're not.
What? If it's a remorseful cheater,
So they want to feel shame. They
Shame
want to
what?
feel guilt.
shame for 2 seconds.
They want to feel
Guilty
shame
for-
or guilt.
It's just like a child. When you catch a child doing something wrong, they feel bad for the time in which you don't catch them right there, you punish them. After that, sure you forget. So the person going to forget, man or woman, oh, I have feel bad or shame, guilty, cry, everything, By the next time the person hit me up, I gone again.
Okay.
Shopping
So I'm going to put it like this. I was also one who cheated it too. So at
Thank you so much for being honest.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that
Right.
that I was always an innocent party.
Right.
So after and sometimes even during the process, there's a level of shame.
Shame.
There's a level of guilt. There's a level of
Fair.
what am I doing in this situation,
Fair.
as well as there's a level of excitement. I'm not gonna lie. So at the time, for some
But
people,
that's during. What happens if you get exposed?
whether
You-
it is
you got
during
caught.
or even,
You're not going to be excited after you get caught, though.
I'll tell you this. Again, this special breed of a person, I would be ashamed, right? And if I am not careful or guarded, if my mind is left to just roam, if I think back about the experience, I might say, what an adrenaline. You understand? But at the end of the day, yeah.
What you have to say now?
So I will say this. There are those of us
Not going
who
to say.
is going to be fully ashamed because at the end of the day, you were caught. You can't say Shaggy like Shaggy. It wasn't me. But just like pain and hurt, time heals, right? Things happen. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, the goody two shoe Christian guy, it never did nothing to him, or he never experienced that level of shame. But there's always a way to bounce back from things.
Okay. So I guess we have a couple messages, sorry.
Okay.
So I think when I said when a person texts and say you are special, kind of special, this person said you get it, so he gets it. And then we have another message that says, I have a friend who resigns herself to be cheated on because she claims that all men cheat. What are your thoughts on that?
That all men cheat?
I have a friend who resigns herself to be cheated
on?
I guess cheated on because she claims that all men cheat. Oh.
Okay, so
What do we
basically
think about that?
she just says straight up, well, regardless what relationship she's in, she's gonna if he cheats because in her mind all men cheat. Well, all men don't cheat.
All men don't cheat. I agree with that.
Yeah, all men don't cheat.
Okay.
I since we confessing, I have to confess. I cheated too.
That's not one.
But I cheated,
What just happened?
quote unquote, out of revenge, I guess.
Just like she had a
I have to admit, you sing. She sang. Anyways, I have to admit, I cannot sit on here. TG, I cheated too. It was sort of revenge, and I was very angry at the person. I even went for a family member of the person.
What?
They find out, and then they called my phone, and they were crying, and I didn't care. So yeah, it was revengeful. I'm sorry.
Do you feel better?
Huh?
Do you feel better getting that off your chest now?
No, I mean, I talk about it all the time, but
But do you feel better because you couldn't wait? Like, I'm getting ready to go back to the next
I'm
topic.
sorry, but I had to admit it too, because I don't want people to think that we out here talking about
you
people.
can't be one-sided.
Like yes, I might so somebody just tell me I toxic, eh? Just so you know, somebody just message me and say I toxic. However, I have to say, yes, I was cheated on more so, but when I found out, I was angry, and I did the same. And the person cried, and I didn't care.
Like Jamie Foxx, just like me.
Yeah. Anything you can do, I can do better. I had done when I was younger. But not now, though. Not now, you know.
I
But
got you.
before, when I had time and energy, when you're young in the young days, I had energy. What? You cheat on me? All right, bet. Let's go.
I got you.
Okay, so
But
that's
not
when we
now.
were
If you
younger.
can do it, I can do it better.
Yeah.
So, Lord have mercy. I wasn't ready. I apologize for those of you who were like quack so hard just now. I apologize.
The
I
person
wasn't
said,
ready.
"Burn him, tell man, burn him." Take my
All right.
man. Definitely.
So, we need to understand, first and foremost, guys, the importance. What is the purpose of sex and intimacy in a relationship? Because if you cheated on someone and you're now trying to regain intimacy with that person after your infidelity, we need persons to understand the importance of intimacy, because some people could lock off. Some people can basically say, we'll stay together, but you stay in that bedroom and I stay in that bedroom.
No facts.
But we need to understand, why is it important to have intimacy in your relationship?
So intimacy is even more than just sex.
Correct.
Intimacy brings a level of understanding. It brings a level of oneness. It brings harmony. It brings peace in any relationship.
It brings relaxation.
You understand? I mean, it even cures the common cold.
Tested and proven?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Yeah, hey, Fevin.
Anyway.
Myself tonight again.
So
It's
at
okay.
the end of the day, intimacy, and not only that, it is something that is biblical. You know, so we want to make sure that your relationship or our relationships are grounded in something. I'll say this. You could be in a relationship, and I'm talking about husband and wife now.
Of course.
You know, you could kiss, you could do all of that stuff. But the sexual relationship, there is no closer you can get to anyone. If it's just about emotions, emotion is one thing, but you can't get no closer.
Somebody
without
asked which
sex.
cold. Just by the way, a message came and asked which cold. You said
Which
it
cold?
cures the cold.
I said the
She said
common
the common-
cold.
he said
He said the common cold.
All right, there you go.
The common cold.
I think
as well as the physical.
also that being intimate or having that intimacy in your relationship can also build self-esteem. And I think that's why it attacks the woman's self-esteem when they know that their significant other is intimate with someone else. That's why we started off with cheater and cheatee, because now that could ruin somebody's self-esteem.
I'll say also the man's self-esteem. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
When
it would.
he's cheated on?
Yeah.
Or just checking?
Yeah.
Or, or him cheating can also build his self-esteem. Because look at that. I could handle two women.
You hear what you said there? Thanks.
No,
So
but
you-
there's
and you want
always
him
a
to
flip
feel-
side.
to
No,
feel
but I'm
regretful?
just. But he indicated just now the excitement is there.
Of course.
This is not. We're not going to be ostriches tonight, guys. We have to face the reality because
Tell a picture of
these
that.
are things that are literally happening.
Correct.
Okay. So if we're going to say it affects our self-esteem, because I'm telling you, it will affect every woman's self-esteem, and it would affect the man's self-esteem too. To
If
know
he's being cheated
how
on.
come she had to step out? Am I not enough?
Oh, we have a caller.
Okay.
We have a caller. Oh, hold on. Good night, you're on LoveLink.
LoveLink, good night. What are you saying?
Hello, we good to know. What you saying?
Hi, just Lenny.
I good. I listening. But I can't lie, I just brush over that point that I just missed. You have to backtrack a little bit and resound and make some noise over that point.
Which point? No. I think I have a feeling what it is.
Intimacy is so much more than intercourse.
Well, yeah.
You could have such highs. You could get to the point of almost climaxing, doing so many different things.
That's
Just
true.
that closeness
That's true.
with that person. Don't just brush over it because it's that's deep.
Okay.
That's deep. I was just using a little toothbrush, but you rag outside and get a rake. That's deep.
Got you. Got you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Blessings, my
All right,
brother.
Thank
Thank you
for
so
calling.
much. You
That's
notice,
right.
all right.
All right.
You notice a lot of men are calling in.
Yeah, we have a message though
Oh,
from a man.
oh.
It says, we seem to be focusing on when we are caught. Although the person that cheats might not show any emotions, they must have feelings of inadequacy. Both men and women tend to have a false bravado, that's a word, right? Bravado, when they do things and are dismissive of it. Cheating doesn't manifest itself in sexual intercourse only. The flirting that might lead to kissing is cheating. Sex is not the measure of cheating.
Okay,
We agree.
great. So for those of you, before we go on a little break, for those of you who are listening for the first time, we did speak about this last week. So this is like a spin-off from last week. So it might seem like we're not mentioning certain things because we already discussed them in our previous show. Of course, you can watch that show on YouTube or listen to us on our podcast. But yes, I agree with what the messenger said.
Yes, when it comes from a man. I agree, It's not that I don't agree. I agree. It's just,
Yeah, it is true.
I just speak from experience.
But we are
As a
going to
female.
take a quick little break, Henny. We'll
Yes,
drink
I'm gonna drink some
water.
water. I am parched.
Yes. We're going to drink some water and we will be right back. Continue to keep it locked here. We have some ads, so please listen. We will be back in less than 2 minutes.
Hi, you're listening to the Signal 284, and here's the thought for the day. A great talker is a great liar. You have just listened to our thought for the day. Continue to keep it locked here on the Signal 284.
You're listening to A Today in History, where we share with you the significant historical events which occurred each day in history. February 18th, 1930, Pluto was discovered. Astronomer Clyde Tombaugh located a new planet while in the observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona, and named it after the Greek god of the underworld, Pluto. The discovery was made as a result of photographs taken in January 1930. it has since been downgraded to a dwarf planet. For birthdays, American politician Wendell Willkie was born in Elwood, Illinois. He was the Republican nominee for president in 1940, running against Franklin D. Roosevelt. Also celebrating, activist Yoko Ono, actors John Travolta and Matt Dillon, rappers Dr. Dre and Jules Santana. In death, Italian artist Michelangelo died in 1564 at the age of 88. American physician Joseph Gilbert Hamilton, who was a pioneer of using radioactive isotopes in disease treatment and diagnosis, died in 1957 of radiation-induced leukemia at 49. In entertainment, comedy film Reality Bites was released in 1994. This romantic comedy follows a documentarian who works on a project
All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for sticking and staying. This is your girl Lola alongside
T to the E to the J alongside
Hennessy alongside
the Holy Spirit.
I just felt like doing that because but yeah. We're
right.
back.
Yes. And we were speaking quite a bit about cheater and cheaty and all of these different things. But I want persons to understand that before we can restore intimacy, we have to go through a recovery process. And of course, that involves having a serious, hard conversation about where did things go wrong. I think we should start with that. Where did the breakdown happen?
I honestly think you should also include a therapist or something, a
Oh, of
counselor or
course.
something, because
But-
this particular hard conversation between, because you're gonna have so much emotions involved on either end, you're going to need a third party to kind of simmer it down, because we never get past the fact that we blame it, because we're gonna be blaming after a while. We're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna sit down and try to have this conversation, and eventually it's like, you know what, the blame game will start. But you weren't doing this, you weren't doing that, and then you won't get nowhere.
So
So
I'll
this
say this.
involves somebody that can help us, counselor, a therapist, something.
A neutral party.
Neutral parties, there you go.
And there are some people who are skillful enough to actually say, look, we might not need a third party. What I can do is be honest upfront and say, this is what I did to contribute to the downfall of the relationship.
Right, and that takes accountability. If the person
Correct.
doesn't have accountability, you're going to need that neutral party.
Correct.
Right, so yeah, I understand. Okay.
So so the first thing is we have to have the hard conversation. The second thing is we have to make up our mind if we are going to stay
Together.
or go. And if you decide to stay, which I always feel that you should walk and then you should try, and then you would say, okay, we tried, it didn't work. But if you make up your mind to stay, you should work on forgiving that person. Nobody wants to stay with somebody who's going to be throwing in their face 24/7
What they
their
did.
mistake.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to call it a mistake, but you know what I mean.
You have to forgive.
So if you're there, you should make up your mind to forgive the person. And after they have forgiven, then and only then can you truly reestablish intimacy.
So I want to back up a little bit
Okay, go ahead.
by basically saying, we have to also look at self-compassion. Don't blame yourself for the for what happened. If you're the person
This
who
is
it
a
happened
cheater?
on,
Is it a cheater?
if you're the person who it happened on,
Why not?
right? No, because sometimes let me put it this way. I just have to put myself in a situation. If I am stepping out on my wife, right? And my wife did not step out on me. Sometimes women blame themselves so much that the healing process takes a longer time. It's like, what did I do? All of that. So sometimes, what I'm basically trying to say is sometimes we have to control our emotions when it comes to that and encourage us to actually do what is necessary to move forward versus staying in a rut, blaming oneself for what had happened.
But you see, now you did not hear the first thing I stated. We ain't have a hard conversation. So in that hard conversation, if I never blamed you, then you shouldn't self-loathe. You understand? But if I did blame you, you can't pretend what you just said there.
No.
No, but then
That
I
was
understand what
saying.
TJ is saying. Like, it's automatic. Because even if I don't tell you, we had we had the hard conversation. We probably seen a therapist and a counselor, but I just haven't expressed how I felt fully. And, how I blaming myself. I sit down and I'm like, boy, she better than me. She have this more than me. She have that more than me. I could have probably do better. You know what I'm saying? This going through my mind still, like when I'm sitting to myself. So it's not that it's necessarily sometimes somebody going to say to their partner, well, I'm blaming myself. It will be just something that they're doing on their own.
On their own.
Something that they're experiencing on their own, like when I'm sitting alone or when I'm
you're
at walk, when I'm
internally-
driving. I'm supposed to be focused on the road, but in my brain, I just have that stuff going through. And this is a
That
process
you
of-
caused it.
Right. So we working on getting better, but these are things that are happening to the cheated on, the cheatee. Whether a man or woman, like, I don't know. I don't know if a man could do it, but as a woman, you might do something like that to yourself and you don't say it to anybody.
Even
to
as
your
a man,
partner. Yeah. So I understand what he's saying.
I'm not dismissing,
We have
but
a
I'm
pause.
hoping and I'm praying.
Oh.
Good night, Sharon LoveLink.
Hi, I just had a thought and it's come from some discussion with folks. Do you realize
hearing.
that many people are with partners that they didn't want to be with? They're with them for convenience for some reason. But I believe that's one of the reasons that when after they get in a relationship, they start looking around because they jumped into a relationship, either it was purely sexual to begin with, to meet some immediate need, some other reason. And when they get into the relationship and things get going, then they're looking around and they start thinking, maybe I moved too quickly with that one. And so those are some of the things that I believe lead people to step outside of the current relationship that they're in. Somebody said to me recently that many people are married to the wrong persons, meaning that, they didn't really want to be in it because of love and all the other stuff. But it was the convenient thing to do because they had to prove that they could have a relationship and get things going. Because if they didn't, they might feel left out. People might think they're inadequate, they're unworthy. So they get into relationships that they were not ready for, or with partners that they were not ready for, or were not ready for them. And so that throws the whole thing apart because if you're not sure about what you want and you just take what's available, more than likely you're going to have a problem. Because then when you see what you think you want, you're going to forget what was available and go after what you really wanted.
Okay.
That
That's
makes
all.
sense. We appreciate you for calling in.
Look at
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I like that.
Oh,
but
he made some points there.
Yes.
That's a point. That's a child.
so
That's I think that's a whole different situation as opposed to. So then, in a case like that, is it cheating valid? Is it a valid cheat?
what?
I know.
Don't try to justify nothing.
What the heck?
No, I'm just saying, like, is it valid? Because if you're married for different reasons and not for wanting to be together, I guess.
All
what he
right, so
said.
we do have quite a bit of persons who are listening to us online on our radio station. on the signal284.com. Those of you who are not seeing the number, that number to call or message is
284-544-6677. Again, that's 284-544-6677. If you're on the YouTube, of course, our YouTube channel is on the Signal 284 on YouTube. That's our on
The
YouTube. It's the Signal 284. I don't know. Like, share, comment.
yes, definitely.
Let us know.
But let's go into quickly. I just want persons to understand that none of the individuals, none of the partners should feel rushed or pressured into becoming intimate if they are not ready. And that comes back to what we were having off air, where we were speaking about you have to be ready in terms of the body, and you have to be ready in terms of the mind.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a very, very slow process for most people. Again, if you're involved with a therapist or counselor or whatever with both of you, it's going to be a slow process. You're going to have the cheater have to reassure a lot.
A lot.
They have a lot of reassuring to do. Which
build back.
may be frustrating, but then you have to understand every action and have a consequence, and that's what you have to do. And then the partner, the cheatee, they would have to give grace, especially if you decide to stick it out and try to solve it, be together still. And then you have to move past the body. You got to, I don't know. I don't know. You got to slowly build that intimacy for you.
I'm getting messages on the side. All right, go ahead.
Awesome.
Like you really have to build. It has to be like a slow process.
Well, even in a slow process, like we all saying, we have to be honest with our emotions.
Right. Yes.
We have to be real honest with our emotions so that we can put it on the table and say, this is how I feel. This is how you feel. Like you said, we have to have honest communication, and that communication also speaks to asking questions.
Oh, no,
having questions answered.
At this point, being open and trying to figure it out and trying to build back the intimacy, because intimacy is very important. Into me, I see. Remember that, into me, I see. It takes it. I still stuck on the time, Pat. Like Lula just said, you can't rush. No. It's gonna take some good.
You have to. Yeah,
you have to get back, like mentally. We have to be there. To push forward into, being able to cuddle and touch and stuff like that before we get into the intercourse.
Even some boundaries will have to be established.
Oh, yes.
The whole thing about it is, even though for some relationships it might take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or even more, for others, it might be much less, simply because once we are mature enough and we have been open, honest, and we pushing through with or without an intermediary person. The thing is, for some people, the time might be more, time might be less, but just be open to reconciliation.
Like you just said, in terms of, and especially if you're in a moment with your partner and you're feeling a certain way, say it. Say, babe, I know we're working on this thing together, but right at this present moment, I don't feel to really be near to you. Be honest.
And there are some people who will say, look, you cheated on me, I'm not giving you a pass, but I need it right now.
Oh, we have
it does happen.
I have a message.
So you go ahead with your messages, and I have one as well.
All right. So I have one that states, sometimes women feel that the man is not meeting her needs and seeks and finds it in someone else. And then
sometimes
you're gonna go just past that.
You're gonna
what
go past that? Oh, we have a caller.
TJ said you're not gonna go past that. Just like that.
No, sir.
All right.
Good night, you're on LoveLink.
LoveLinkers.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I hearing a lot of good information, a lot of good talk.
But
and you're on a good path right now where you're speaking about communication. Excuse me, open and honest communication. And it might seem so necessary because we are at such a low point that we need to be so open and so honest and really not hold back anything so we can get through and get back. I just want to stress because I'm a LoveLinker from inception.
yes, sir.
Right, so I remember all the shows and what the stuff we speak about,
Yes, sir.
and this carries me right back to all this honest, open communication that we need to have to try to get things back. Let's try to have a lot of that before we get there. Let's try to not hold back. Listen, one of the things I used to say from
I
before,
know where he's going.
this is how we get to know each other, No, I ain't calling you out, miss. This is how we get to know each other, It's by being open and communicating and stop holding things back. It's things that we think the other person ain't gonna like. A lot of things I might say to you that you might not like to hear because we're human beings. That's
true.
That's how conversation and communication will go.
That's
Ain't
true.
everything you want to say I don't want to hear.
That's
some
true.
of it gonna piss me off. Some of it gonna annoy me.
That's
some of
true.
it gonna make me feel shame. But
That's
then
true.
is the thing with that. Hey, listen. Add another word to the communication. Intimate communication.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Done again.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Listen.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of men calling in tonight.
I like that. I really appreciate that.
Where are my ladies? Where are my ladies?
That's okay. No, let them man them talk.
All right.
We don't talk all the time.
I have a message. The continuation stated needs such as being sympathetic and empathetic, showing that you genuinely care about their well being.
Awesome.
All right. So I have one here. That was Stone Cold Facts, the old man caller.
Oh,
All
Uncle
right.
Lenny. Uncle old school. Okay. So I have one that says, I'm not giving anyone grace that cheated on me. I want war. It will be the most stressful week of his life. Then I will go and heal. LOL.
And that is, you're human first, and I understand that. Persons, you go through your different cycles. You go through, your rage. You go through all of that. That is fine. But then when you go through all of that, then you have to make the decision: are you going to stay, or are you going to go?
That's where the person say you're going to get stressed first. I have another message when you're finished.
All right, go ahead.
I must go ahead. Okay. Hennessy introduced a very good point. Look, somebody love me,
Many people love you. Stop
One
it.
time, one little point. Involving a third party, especially a counselor, we often wait until after the fact to send out the SOS call. What about if we ask for intervention at the first sign of trouble? Also, want to pause?
Keep going.
Oh.
But I'll come in.
Also, greater intimacy can lead to better relationships. For me, intimacy is the extent to which we are able to share personally private information. This includes what we are thinking, how we are feeling, inquiring about the other person's thoughts and feelings, and even their general well-being. To paraphrase TJ said, just talk about everything. The little things count.
So I'll even say this. Many of us look at having that third person, that psychologist, that neutral person at the sign of trouble, right? But I will also encourage persons to create that sense of security before signs of trouble. Have that therapy sessions before that signs of trouble, because at the end of the day, and this is why some churches does have
Seminars and stuff.
seminars, couples retreats, things like that, because if we only wait till signs of trouble, sometimes it might be late. And we might pick up on certain signs if we are continuing the conversation, you know, all the time. I'll just put that in there.
I have another message.
Okay,
A
go ahead.
personal one from a guy as well. They say, you know what's the problem nowadays that causes cheating? People are afraid to have uncomfortable conversations, and that's a fact.
We stated that.
When you have uncomfortable conversation is when you can break down a person's wall and find out their insecurities, and you can adjust and be better couples.
I agree. And that's
Love
why
it.
I didn't want to come back to what TJ was saying. Not that I didn't understand what he was saying, but if we really and truly do have honest conversations, and you tell me, okay, it was not me, why I can continue to think it's me. If we are laying everything on the table, with or without the mediator, if we're laying everything out on the table and you said it's not me, we're having an honest conversation, why would I continue to pick up that cross and carry it?
So Lenny said something about the truth and having that conversation, right? So I'll even say, take it further. Before I got married, I laid it on the table. You know, listen, now everybody is not TJ. And I understand
want
that.
to interject with all of the grown folk. I want to speak on behalf of those persons who cannot communicate, period. They are so emotionally unavailable and so emotionally shut from trauma. They cannot communicate this, let's put everything on the table situation. It happens.
It happens.
We have those that speak just like you, Lenny, TJ, Lola, and the gentlemen that are calling and people that are messaging, yes. But then what happens to these people that cannot be truthful? And then this is where the cheating come in, because like if I say something to you, you think I arguing, or you offended, or you just shut down, and you do what you're doing. And it is a continuous cycle.
So I'll also say this, and I'll say it quickly so we can get to move on.
Right.
Not everyone is supposed to be married. Not
True.
everyone is supposed to be in a relationship. And sometimes we get involved because we see a girlfriend or a guy friend involved. We want the same thing. But really and truly, not everyone is supposed to be. And until we get that, sometimes we just make mistakes along the journey. But like what we are saying here, even reconciliating or reconciliation towards intimacy is a journey.
Right.
And dating and all of that, it's a journey. And you will never know what is for you until you go through that journey.
True.
All
True.
right.
I wouldn't argue there.
Are we going to have a quick little, our last break?
Okay. What time it is there? Oh.
Okay.
We'll have our last break for the night. Continue to keep it locked. We will be right back.
Definitely. Whoa. This is
Hi,
the time in
you're
our
listening
day
to the
we
Signal
pause to give you a
284,
fun
and
fact,
here's the
something
thought for the day.
interesting that you probably
A
never
great
knew
talker
or even gave
is a
much
great
thought
liar.
to. So,
You have just listened
did you
to a
know
thought for
that
the day.
Black History
Continue
Month
to keep it locked
began
here on
as
the Signal
Negro History
284.
Week? In 1926, Carter G. Woodson established Negro History Week. The celebration highlighted Black Americans' history, lives, and contributions. In 1976, Negro History Week expanded to the month-long celebration we observe today. Woodson, an African American historian who graduated with a PhD from Harvard, founded the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. The ASAL now leads nationwide Black History Month celebrations and establishes its themes. Something to think about. And there you have it, folks. Our daily Did You Know? Tune in tomorrow for more.
Right. This is going to be our last portion pertaining to this topic entitled
Oh, that's me? Intimacy after infidelity.
This is your girl Lola alongside
T to the E to the J.
Tennessee.
Alongside. Hi, guys.
Alongside our listening audience. Listen,
Yes.
welcome back.
You
If you're on YouTube, like, share, comment,
Awesome.
subscribe. And if you're on our radio station, send in a little thing, share it with your peoples,
We appreciate you for giving us your Sunday night. I know there are so many other things that you can do, but you are here with us. So thank you so much for being here. We are not experts. We're trying to take here on a Sunday night here in the beautiful British
Wait, say it again for the one in the back. We are not experts. Say it again because who child?
But we're having honest conversation here today.
Honest,
definitely.
honest.
Thanks to those who are calling in, those who are messaging in. We could not do this show without you. So I want us to have a conversation now about being ready to move on from the hurt, from the shame, from the shame, from the shame. Because we live on a very small island, and that island, everybody gonna know. Sometimes you'll be the last to know. Let's be real. So you are the last to know. So you could imagine everybody done laughing at you. And it's so mean because I don't know why they would be laughing at you. You're not the one who's doing something wrong, but it just shows you that the negative attention is shifted to the wrong person.
Yeah, because then you're out there posting the love of my life.
So it's like you're getting this energy like, oh, people are laughing at you and blah 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 blah, because you are the last to know. I understand all of that. But for us to get to that reconciliation, for us to get back there, I just want to talk about two things right now. Let's talk about getting ready body-wise, and let's talk about getting ready mental-wise.
Body-wise and mentally. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So when I say body-wise, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind, you need to go get tested.
Fine.
You just cheated on me.
Oh yeah, that's definitely in the hard conversation.
I decided to stay with you. You, even though we had an open conversation, I don't know if you're telling the truth. I'm not sure if you're telling the truth, if you were protected or not. I don't know. So you need to go and get tested.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, I don't trust you.
So body,
Yeah, what can't trust too? Oh,
yes.
That's the key.
jeez.
And of course, we know that, body wise, you might actually be numb dealing with this person. I don't know. I think the number one reaction would be, don't touch me. I think that would be.
No, that's fair. That's
for
fair.
For a man, would it be the same? Because for a woman, yes. Automatically.
No. Some men, they would have the same reaction.
I think, you know what?
For me, I had a different cat.
You a different. I don't understand your brain enough, but anyway,
I'm a different cat.
Yeah, definitely the trust part. So yeah, go get tested. I agree. Yes.
So you should go and you should get tested. Yes.
Wait, hold on. We both have to get tested because
that's
then
true.
if we had sex while you were cheating, and I just found out after, we have to get tested. Yeah, both of us. So we all have to get tested. Okay, good.
Yes, we should both get tested. That's a good point. But then also body wise, we need to do a lot of good self-care.
Explain.
Persons drop the ball. Listen, some people don't bathe. Some people don't.
Hold on.
No, don't act. Don't
You
act.
mean hygiene-wise?
No, I'm saying some people actually take it on. You're not sleeping.
Oh, when you're being
You're
depressed.
not,
Okay.
you're not
Got you.
eating. You're
Got
not.
you.
So body wise, your body take a serious hit.
Yes.
Yes, the mind, but your body also takes a serious hit because
It
now
manifests
you're up
physically
all
as well.
night. When you get that 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, wake up and you can't go back to sleep kind of moment.
Try from like midnight.
So of course, now that means my body's being affected because of this cheating. I'm not getting to sleep properly. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm getting headaches. Listen, the list goes on and
Because
on.
you're
And all of that is your body. So if I am not getting good rest, where you going about feeling my hand up? Like I'm going to be agitated all around. I'm not going to be, as I said, my body might be numb because now I don't know what.
Like even if you go to walk or you out the house, you may not want to go home early either. because you want to avoid seeing and talking to this person. Like, I don't care to be home early. I'm going to come home as late as possible. So by the time I get home, I bathe my skin. If I do bathe, and I go lay down.
So I don't want us to go too far backwards, because the aim is to build back
Yes,
to where
but
we
I'm
being intimate.
trying to explain that
That's true.
all of these play a part, because if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do health wise, it's going to affect my arousal. It's going to affect my desire. It's going to affect all these different things. So it's not really separated, because if I'm not taking care of myself, the ability to even climax may not be possible.
But you see, and that's why everything in incremental steps. So even when we are talking about the body, and I want you to, and I want all of us who are talking or listening to understand this whole process is a process of building back trust.
Of course.
Like you said, trust
course,
out the
of
window.
course.
So going to get medical checkups, going to counseling, all of this, establishing boundaries, is the desire to build trust back, which is a journey which is going to take some time. And like you're saying, the journey would be getting back to that space where you're now eating, you're now having open communication,
You're sleeping
you're now
through the
sleeping,
night.
right? And you're
A
now
little bit better.
A little bit.
As the time goes by, yes.
right, and then you're now establishing how we will become more intimate, how where the touching will start and stop, if you're comfortable with good touch or bad touch. So all of these things are gearing up towards getting back. I wouldn't say to the place where you used to be.
It can't be. It
You
has to be
understand?
better than.
But it has to be
better
it has to
than.
go beyond.
Yes.
You know,
You have to overcompensate.
So
Yes.
that is so taking all of that into consideration, that's the end result.
Yeah, and this includes the cheater. You have to, as a cheater, separate yourself from the person that you were cheating with. Block,
Correct.
delete, do not see, none of that stuff. You have to go
If
walk,
you're
come back
committed,
home.
if you're truly
if you're committed,
wanting
you have
to-
to, because within us getting together, like building back to that point where we could have the good touch, that reassuring, that accountability, that strict go come back. You have to, understand that, and then do things that, and let's play on the love languages. Do things for your partner that they going to see that, okay, this person really serious. Be, what is the word? Intentional.
Correct.
You
Correct.
have to be intentional
Correct.
as a
Look at you
couple,
tonight.
right?
Look at you.
And especially as a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Be intentional with getting to the point where you know what, you really were remorseful. You're not planning to do this again, this cheating thing. You really realize how much you hurt your partner, and you not want to see that person like that again. So you're going to do what you have to do.
So I will even I would even go back a little bit further by simply saying to the person who I was engaged with is to cut it off.
Yeah.
You understand? Because sometimes we cut it off in our minds,
Oh, but not fit. Oh,
and
that's what you're
sometimes
saying.
we cut it off. I
On one
want
side.
to get back to my wife, so I'm cutting it off. But the one who I was doing it with doesn't know. They didn't get the message.
Right, so you only cut it off on one side for yourself.
Right, for
you know
yourself,
what?
you cut it
I
off.
wouldn't be contacting that person again. But that
Right.
time, that person still trying to get a hold of you.
Correct.
Somebody else phone.
So there needs to be clear communication that, listen, I am working on reconciliation with my wife, my husband, whatever it is, and this what we had. This is it.
And that's why, but that's why I say, I understand, because I've never been there, but I understand just looking at it from this point tonight. So you've been physical with the person because you've been emotionally cheating with this person. But now you're asking me well, not you, the proverbial you, you're asking me to cut off this individual. That's what you're asking me to do, you know.
But I have a question about that.
So I'm cutting off this individual that I don't have a soul tie with, that I'm already connected with. You understand? And I still trying to save over here. I try and save over here, but I really love over here too. So now what do you do? Because I'm sorry, I do believe that it is possible. But that's why I tell you, that person, the cheater, is really and truly going through some serious emotions.
Correct.
Same way.
Correct.
Because they can't just chop off. This person has now become a part of their routine. And it's going to be very difficult to just say, sever that tie and everything bliss.
So, Henny, give me a little chance. This is where, if I am in that situation, I have to make a decision. Me being with my wife, me being with my, what do you call that person?
Sweetie.
Sweetie.
Your side piece.
Okay, the side piece, right? When I look at both, what am I gaining? Now, somebody else might say, well, I'm gaining X because over here and I don't have it. But this is the way how I would have to look at it as an individual. Because of who I am, I have to make a decision. If my wife is who I am investing with, who I have children with, who I have build something. In other words, what do I have to lose by moving away from my wife? What do I have to gain?
No, you're missing what I'm saying, you know. I'm not saying that the person would not choose their wife, you know.
Answer Lola.
I'm saying that person going through some serious emotional
answer
roller
Lola.
coaster because
The 80-20 rule, point blank period. You have your wife 80, husband 80, and the 20 is side piece. Easy. So my question was the cutting part. Are we, the cheatee, allowing the cheater to have this conversation with the person that they're cheating with alone, or are we having that conversation in front of the cheatee? Because I ain't gonna trust you to cut that for yourself, you know. You're gonna have to have this either call in front of me or whatever. Are we doing that? You understand the question?
I don't need that.
I don't need that either.
I don't need that because that shows that for me is a level of insecurity for me.
The both of you. If somebody needs, we had the hair talk, we're doing the therapy, we're making steps to move forward. We just said that. Now, within the boundaries and the things that I need from you as a person that cheated on me, can that be included? Can I have that call?
If you want that, and if that puts you at ease, and if there's mutual agreement, maybe that can happen, but that can also cause more damage.
Tell me how.
Because you said put it on speaker to hear this person, and that person now reveal some other stuff about why you were with me in the first place. Again, it's an emotional...
First of all, the call is to tell you we done. Why we have to go into how we feel?
No, I understand what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I
understand what you're saying. I don't think that it would get there.
Right.
But my thing, I thinking selfishly right now. Me ain't giving no woman a satisfaction. Forgive me, Lord, forgive me.
Yeah, but he still have to go and do it.
So then let him go and do it. But why should I be on the line where I'm not giving no woman a satisfaction?
Saying, okay,
hold on.
won't need that.
I'm not giving a woman a satisfaction where she now feels never that.
She gonna feel it regardless.
I don't give a crap.
I'm gonna say this.
She can do it without me being there because I'm telling you,
my thing
I'm
is,
not doing
I find
it.
out it's you, and if I need for my man to call you while I sitting in his presence to
and
say,
I would be there laughing at you.
Done? You could laugh.
I don't give a crap.
No, you could laugh. You could laugh. But
So-
point on speaker and let me to know that you tell she that we done.
And
So, I
listen,
hearing
men
you.
are going to do, and women too. People are going to do what they have to do to save. But then, if you did your thing properly, that side piece already in check. So I can play along. And I know, okay, check you in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks when this thing blow over.
So going back to
So I'm not.
You hear
That
you
word-
hear you talking? is where I want, but I come back from where you were to stay in the presence of this conversation because I with you. People who cheated don't care, but then which way is moving along.
So I'm going to say this quickly.
I telling you that don't care.
No, I'm going to say this quickly.
Go ahead.
Based on where the conversation was going in terms of trust, if I'm going to build that trust back with my spouse or with my partner, then my first action would be trusting you enough to make that decision to cut it off.
Correct.
I'll say this. If you didn't cut it off, it's going to come back some way, shape, or form.
I will find out.
And I will make a decision for myself. But if I'm going to build trust because we're going back to being intimate, I will trust you enough to say, this is a step that you have to be bold and man enough or woman enough to take.
How it is, why you riding both sides though?
I am.
How are you doing that? And
Because
still high-fiving my partner. You cannot do that because you pulling me up for telling your cheaters don't care. And then go back and say, well, I selfish enough to say, yeah, cheaters ain't going to care. They don't care. Like, I don't understand. How you riding it? You straddling both lines.
Because, no, hold on.
No, you cannot because you cannot justify it. You cannot, I don't care what nobody say. You cannot justify somebody who continuously cheats. This, mind you, I pulled back from this because I trying to stay in the moment and be adult. But nah, I second this now. I second it. Cheaters don't give a crap. They don't care, they're gonna keep going. Get caught or not, Shaggy said, what? Even when we catch you on the camera, my boy, my girl said it wasn't you.
I beg to differ.
How will you doing that?
So
I beg to differ.
How you beg to? You just say. You saying.
She's just throwing wrenches.
My thing
That's
is.
it. That's
she,
what
was
it
she
is.
riling me up because Hennessy were cool? I was cool, but I have to. We have a call because. Jesus.
MG.
Good night, Sharon LoveLink.
Calm down, Henny.
No.
I with you. I with you. I with you.
Ah, boy.
Now
she's straddling the line. You can't do that.
But on Henny's point, and part of you guys' defense was, oh, you're building trust, so you should trust me enough. No, I should not. If I couldn't trust you before for you to go into what you went into, why should I have to trust you to make that phone call? I ain't saying I have to be on the line.
Thank you.
I ain't gotta be on the line. She ain't gotta know or he ain't gotta know that I present.
Right.
Now, is it enough that you would go on there and be able to openly with them say it's time to done? Or you don't want me there so you can still leave the window a little bit cracked?
Exactly.
So whether you're there or not,
totally,
that window might
Henny,
be cracked.
Henny, is this Henny?
No, it's Lola. This is Henny. No, let's go.
Yes, I hear what she's saying. For your point taken.
Thank you.
Look,
right.
I want to look at it another way. That could be a start in building back trust.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could trust me enough to know that I can go ahead and call him and say, boom. So if you want to be there and I put on speaker, baby, this is what I need to do to make you comfortable.
Okay.
No problem.
Right.
Boom.
Now I understand that. Let me be the one to suggest it. If I'm the one who cheated, you shouldn't demand me to do something like that. Let me be the one.
First of all, it wasn't a demand at all. If we're building trust.
That's our request.
Thank you. It's a request. This is Mrs. Okay, we want to build trust. This is what I require you.
So I gonna just say this. So what I gonna just say is this. Like I was saying before, if that's your way to move forward, that's your way.
Exactly.
But for me,
I not ask you about you. I'm saying in general, though.
So then you
if
put
it's
the
for their person.
Because to me, I really wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, but then that's you. But the both of you, they are different. But if somebody listening now would require their partner to say yes, I would require you. This is in my requirements to start building trust again. For you to make this phone call, so I could be comfortable at least You know, even if you ain't go, because clearly some of them won't stop.
So what happens if the person doesn't want to call?
Then no,
And
that's a problem.
The cheater shouldn't feel, and the cheater
That's a
shouldn't
problem.
feel no way to make that call.
That's a problem because then we can't trust.
You see? No, it's not even about the trust, you know. It's this dang selfishness. Right now, it's not even about you. You already had you and did you. Now it's not about you. It's about putting your partner in that position, whatever the hell it is that they need to feel, however they need to feel for us to move forward. You have to now be a little bit selfless and take yourself out of it. I don't care how it make you feel that you have to put up your personal speaker. It's not about you. It's not about that person. Y'all had your time already, and y'all clearly did what y'all wanted to do at that time. Now it's your partner's time. I think that's a simple request. Of course, baby, I'll bring yeah. Listen, I just called to let you know that it's over. And it has to be over. This will be our last form of communication. And I really appreciate it if you give me the space because I'm trying to make my marriage work, blah, 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 what the heck ever. Simple.
Point.
It's because it's not about you and it's not about her. It's about your partner who is trying to get back to a comfortable stage to get back to those things that y'all were just talking about.
Exactly.
Kenny, I got you.
Thank you very much. First time and I appreciate it. I'm going to hold on to this. Good night. I'm going to hold on to this because you know I'm going to be on my side. I was doing eh? Praise the Lord.
Well, I mean, it just shows that persons are different.
Yeah,
that persons are different.
That way just showing that people are different.
So we do have that group of individuals that would require and request such. But I'm telling you, for myself and TJ, I wouldn't.
Because point blank, even if you request that, it don't mean that they're gonna stop, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
But it just helps you to get past that hurdle for some persons. You understand? Just like how you would sit and be like, you know what? Me need you to call. I just need for you to keep to your word and keep it going.
That's it.
And if something happens again, I gonna know. It gonna come out in like regardless. Same thing. Just two different approaches.
No, I got
it's
you.
the same thing.
I got you.
understand?
I got you.
They have really some that really remorseful. They're gonna walk through. We're gonna get our marriage or relationship together. Boom. We gonna move on with life. Then they have some who just don't care and they're gonna continue cheating. And then Dululu. Hello. People like to be delusional. So I'm just saying.
All right, so that was a lot.
Yes, I'm sorry. I
was
was trying, but you were straddling and it was bothering me. Okay.
And you know, I have to look at it through all parties involved. Remember, we're having a show, and it cannot be just our opinion. We have to try our best to look at what the other person's point of view would be. If you did not listen to last week's Sunday show, I think everyone in the room indicated we do not condone cheating.
No,
we are not for cheating, but it's a reality, and it is a major part of relationships, unfortunately. A lot of relationships go through this multiple times. So we had to have this conversation on LoveLink simply because...
Before we end, we have a message, and I don't want the person to think that we didn't see it.
Okay.
The message says, it's a choice that persons make in not being truthful. No one stops us from being truthful. Sometimes it's our own acts of deception that prevents us from being honest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I like that too.
Definitely.
But we spoke about the body. Let's talk a little bit about the mind now. Pertaining to the mind, how can we get ready to move on? This mind of ours. How do we get past all of this? As I said, overthinking.
I think we've been considering. That's
all
about
right.
it.
So
my opinion.
I'm gonna throw in my other wrench
Of course.
for the night.
We're waiting for it.
What about when you find out where the cheating took place?
Tell me a place quick so I could know.
Your bedroom.
So devil is a hot lie. We going jail tonight. Lola, you trying for people to go jail? Listen.
But this is harsh reality.
Of all the places in the entire world and on the island, you choose to bring a woman or a man in my bed. Oh, again, goosebumps. Let me stop. Cheese on. My answer?
Yes.
We are going jail. Point blank. That's it.
TJ?
I mean,
Does it
Listen.
matter where the cheating took place?
it doesn't matter where.
It doesn't matter where. We still going jail.
It
Snapped. After
First of
jail.
all, we born in the bed. So if I born in the bed,
I ain't showing in my bed.
I ain't trying to remember neither.
the hot.
Maybe the mattress. I ain't trying to remember my bed. I love my bed.
I ain't showing in the
So
mattress
if,
now.
if somebody come on your bed and do things on your mattress, you keep it now or you turn it away? Think about it. Yeah, that's bodily fluids and stuff. Like,
Yeah, but that's like going to a hotel room. What's the difference?
really? Your man or your woman on top of your bed? I born in the bed.
Pause.
Point blank.
If we are saying that this was happening all the time, you were sleeping in the same thing. all the
You
time.
was sleeping unknowingly. right?
Unbeknownst to myself, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know. But if you telling me, well, babe, since we
Changing
having
the sheet saying enough?
since we having the stone cold conversation,
Changing the sheet saying enough?
and
bro?
I ask you, well, babe, why it is y'all were doing y'all things, and you say, well, boy, babe, well, in on the bed. So the lunch, I go lunch. So listen, I go in jail that day. You're gonna have to call 911 for me because what?
Yeah, it's gonna
That
take
is-
a
that's
lot
a-
of
that's-
mental. I
The
you know,
disrespect. That's
yeah.
nah. That's my private.
it tells
place.
a lot about you, the cheater.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
care.
why would you bring in somebody in your safe space? In your space. Anybody who knows me, I'm looking at the camera directly. Anybody who knows me knows my bed is my safe haven. My kids, even from a young age, they can't go up on my bed unless they don't bed. Not them.
But let me tell you,
So
camera head.
I know you can bring some pissy tail pussing to come on top of who bed. So I understand what
Who had dirty
Hennessy.
skin, dirty
I understand
foot.
what Henry is saying, but I wasn't born in my bed. But I think what I would have done, I would have definitely maybe changed the sheets, the mattress, maybe even paint over
Okay,
the
so I'm
room.
confused. You're not throwing away the bed. It's just the mattress. That's what you're
I
saying.
may not even throw away the mattress. I don't know. I'm on the
Your
fence.
kids can't come on your bed or bathing. Let's think about this. Mama didn't bathe.
Who said so?
You don't know.
Why you defending Mama? What's going on? I need to understand something.
Who said so?
Why you defending Mama?
If there's a standard in the house,
What's that? Well, the standard is don't have no woman in my
and
bed.
the standard
What do you
is
mean?
no dirty skin on
So
the bed.
wait. Let me understand what you're saying. So he's going to obey that one rule.
He just
but
might.
ain't obey the rule of being faithful.
She just might.
Okay.
You and Mama were in the bed sweaty. Getting out your nasty.
bathed
The
first.
nastiest are nasty. And we keeping that mattress? That mattress burning you buy me a mattress out of your own money. What? You crazy? My mattress? That mean you on... And I getting nasty hanging from chandeliers and thing for you and you... No! Stop! I beg. I refuse.
Listen, sorry. So I'm gonna be serious here just for 2 seconds.
So we weren't serious before?
I want to know.
No, I'm just the kind of person like this. I find out something. I know people who does mash up vehicle.
Yeah.
Listen, I am not damaging my property. We're going to carry me from A to B. I am not throwing away and burning up something that I got to lay my... Where are you going to sleep that night? On the floor? No. I just got too much
Well,
decorum for that.
Yeah, but
To each his
persons don't think, when you get in I don't give up stage, you ain't thinking about that.
You
You're
ain't
just
thinking
thinking
about
about feeling better at that moment. But then that once you have calmed down from that moment, you're realizing, did I just burn the bed? But at the end of the day,
I'm pulling the mattress out and I'm burning it outside. You're going to take your money out of your pocket and burn back a mattress. You crazy? No, I'm being very serious.
No, I hear you. That's you.
My thing is you don't cheating on me. I don't care. That's fine. But then you're going to bring it into in your house, in your safe haven. You don't do stuff like that to people.
No, I agree.
When people react to persons when they're being cheated on, we look at them and say, oh, they're crazy. Yeah, they're crazy in love. And when you hurt somebody, you cannot tell what they're going to do. You understand? So if you're selling, you have to take that last shit. I sorry.
okay,
guys, take
so hold on. No.
it. I'm done.
Let me ask another wrench. This one is the biggest wrench of the night.
That wasn't big.
No, this one is the biggest wrench of the night.
Jail. Oh, pray for me, brother.
So what happens now if you find out they get a child?
Denzel
I'll
Washington.
say this, right? I'll say this. I want to have the patience
Fences.
and understanding like Rita Marley. That's all I'm going to say.
No, but when you ask for something, you might get it. You know, don't ask for certain things. Be careful with your lips.
I understand that, but because I think you're going to go jail. We married or we married?
I know everything
doesn't
I'm
matter.
talking about is married.
It's
right now.
marriage and a child coming.
It doesn't matter.
I think it's gonna take me a little bit longer to process.
My thing about it is you can't lie now. I know you have been sexing unprotected.
Right. Even if you
now
have
you
lie and
can't
say,
lie.
even if you have lie and say not.
That you're not.
But it's going to take women for a lot of years, for decades, has been taking this kind of treatment. People, they men cheat, they bring home children, they accept the children, and they stay with their husband.
So
You see
It
you in your
happens.
wrenches?
no, but it's reality.
Your wrenches?
But it happens.
Ask me that question.
Why ask us now?
Ask me that question.
The child.
The child
if
part?
if your woman get a child.
Okay. Who said I was the only person there in that situation with the same individual? You get a DNA to say it is my child?
No, but then you find out that it is your child.
Okay, so we're saying that it is.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is your child. So now what do we do? And these are the things, like if you go now to try to even touch your wife, I'm telling you, it's not going to go well.
It's going to take some time.
It's not going to go well.
We
so
can
it's
get
like
to that point, but it's going to take some
we
time.
Or your husband.
need- Right. We need to truly forgive. And that you cannot do by yourself. You're going to have to call on God. I am so sorry. Because this one here, you can't do it by yourself, TJ.
Because my thing is, and not to bring in gender, but do you think a man would accept his wife pregnant after cheating?
The man
Like
ain't
how a
even
woman-
accepting the wife and no child ain't involved.
Like a woman would accept her husband when he brings home a child. TJ, I want you to answer that question.
So let's put it this way.
I got a lot of messages.
These are scenarios that, you know, I can't say, I've never experienced that. But what I can say based on where we're going with the conversation, forgiveness is a journey. It takes time,
Oh yeah.
right? The child should not be put in the judgment seat.
Of
The
course.
child is
The
innocent,
child is an innocent party, yes.
right? So if my spouse is pregnant after stepping out, you understand? And we have decided, going back to the original conversation, we have decided to walk this thing out. The journey
It's gonna be hard.
is this: I'm going to have to accept that there's a third party, and that third party is going. If that third party decides to be an active father in this child's life, so boundaries, like we said before, would have to be set.
Okay, so we understand that. And that might be another show.
Correct.
That we can probably spin off and go into. But how do you get your wife back to where you can touch her again?
Time.
That's what tonight is
Time.
about.
Time.
At the end of the
Time.
day. I have messages.
I think that's what the answer is. Technically, that's the
For
answer.
tonight,
Time.
yes.
Time.
Yeah.
All right, I have some messages. It says, man cheating, woman cheating is two different things most times.
See there again.
Woman cheating is a connection. Man cheating is a moment most times.
I got to come from a man.
Then it says here, this is a man, the mattress got to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Burn that mattress.
For him,
It said the mattress got to
Tell.
go. What woman today going to take an outside child? That's old days thing. You'll be surprised.
and there are
You would be
many men who
surprised.
are
You have
It
a
still
lot.
the same.
happens.
Yeah,
And I've been in situations where the toxicity is so thick, and I do not feel that you should stay with somebody you don't want to be with.
Good
It's
answer.
not healthy.
Good answer.
for you, the individual, is not healthy for whoever living in the house. It's not healthy.
It's gonna cause resentment.
We are definitely going to promote trying to work things out as love linkers.
If not, leave.
But we are definitely we want you to, if you make that conscious decision to stay with the individual, you have to forgive. Think about the other person. Would you have wanted to have that thrown in your face 24/7? Nobody wants that. Who wants to come home to a woman or a man who's going to keep throwing your mistake in your face? Whether it was a mistake or not, that dark time in your relationship, if you know you're going to definitely push them away even more.
Yeah.
So if you decide to stay with that, that's not like a closing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if
we
you
closing.
decide to stay with that individual,
Yep.
guys, you're gonna have to work. But do not rush the person. Do not force them to basically come up to speed with you.
Don't rush the process.
All right? It is
Time.
a journey, as TJ keeps saying. It will take time, and you cannot get upset. The caller stated, ain't about you right now.
Yep.
You have to be the one to be, listen,
Yep.
everybody can't do it. And if you know you're one of those people who can't do it, then it's time to cut your losses
Yep.
and leave the relationship.
Yep.
Because you don't want children grow up thinking this is how marriage is supposed to be. This is how love is supposed to be. That's not fair. And they would have a distorted reality of how things are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much more we can say pertaining to this topic, but because of
Could go
time,
all night.
we're gonna have to cut things off. I'm so grateful. Listen, I think tonight was a very
Definitely.
real show. And I'm very, very grateful to these two people who are sitting here with me. We had no clue what we're going to talk about tonight, and we did an amazing job. Thank you guys so much. Henny, thank you. Even though you went back in a little dark space there for a minute.
Can I play the blame game now? Can I say it was Lola's fault? No. But yeah, everybody's reality is different. And again, tonight we just want to say, take a time. It's going to take some time. We all agree.
Right.
Time, journey, time.
So I'm just going to say this for my little closing. Everything that we said in regards to journey and time is what being patient is key. And I'm just going to say this, forgiveness is important.
Yes.
It is not only for the person, it's for you.
Correct.
And
You say that a lot.
And I'm going to say this as well.
You do.
What if God was one of us? We sin all the time. I don't
That's
care
true.
if we call it big sin, small sin,
That's true.
medium sin.
It's true.
Those of us who have a spiritual foundation want God to forgive us.
Definitely.
So we have a duty to do the same. Put our issues down and go to the individual and say, look, I'm sorry, X, Y, and Z. So what if God really and truly was one of us? What would we expect? So at the end of the day, my consciousness is telling me straight up, don't allow my emotions to take so much control that I can't see the silver lining that
Right.
God wants me to see.
Correct.
And I'm just going to just drop that nugget and leave it there.
Boom.
That was a big nugget, though.
Yeah, boom.
That was a big nugget.
Boom.
But before I make Hennessy do her thing, I'm going back to something that TJ spoke about earlier, and I want persons to watch me clearly, understand me. Please do not compare yourself with that person's partner. You deserve way better. That person cheated because of them. They did not cheat. And I began the show being devil's advocate. I openly admitted that. But from the past show, we indicated it's not you, boo. You might have a small little part to play. However, that person made up their mind to do what they did. So don't go comparing yourself. Just try to feel good about who you are. And no matter what, you continue. Don't let anybody rob what is your destiny, what is your joy, etc., etc. And always, always set up yourself to win. So don't compare yourself to the affair partner at all. All right? Because it looks like we can tend to go back to a dark place. We go back to that place, and that makes no sense. So at the end of the day, if nothing that you remember that we say here tonight, intimacy is possible. I still hold my ground. Intimacy is possible after infidelity once you have decided, you've made up your mind to stay with that person.
Amen.
Boom. I don't have to say nothing again. You end the whole night. Can we get applause because you finish it? Anyways, my little 2 cents is it's not easy to forgive and let go, but remind yourself that harboring the resentment will only aggravate your pain.
Agreed. Well said. Well said. Well said. So of course, I have to acknowledge, we do our little shout outs real quickly at the end of every show. And I have to shout out just Lenny tonight. Thank you for always calling in and being supportive. Oh my gosh, I wish I could hear the applause. But thank you so much. Of course, my bestie there in St. Martin. I have Mr. Canada. I have Diva and King, my girls to the end, forever and ever. Boop, boop. My station manager, Lester Maduro from Salt Island. Me love you a long time. And if you know Tia Hutchinson, if you know Tia Hutchinson, tell her hello. My egg is also working in the background.
Biscuit chest.
Thank you so much
$20
for helping us do the live. And this man who keeps us balanced. TTT to the JJJ. Because me and Henny would be in here all night.
I know how he balances and he keep going by Lola side. But anyway, Tree.
Thank you so much, TJ.
My pleasure. All right.
Oh,
TJ, you still ain't say nothing?
And of course, if you are a first-time listener, we are here every single day, all day. My favorite day of the week is Thursdays. We have Throwback Thursday all day from early as 8 o'clock in the morning until midnight. And we are here for morning devotions at 6 a.m. every day.
That's the signal to it for, of course, people.
.com.
If you're on our YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the signal to it for. Oh, at is the signal to it for. All right, that's our at. All I'm going to say is thank you guys who tuned in, Class of 06. If you're listening, thank you for tuning in. And those who called in, we appreciate you, especially those men. Thank you for calling in.
Especially the men.
Those who always listen, we thank you. And those who are new, we thank you.
All right.
All right, so.
For those down in the region, in the lovely archipelago of the Caribbean,
The archipelago.
thank you for joining us. It's been a
Definitely.
pleasure.
And the northern side, the U.S.
All right.
We thank you, and we're going to say...
Good night.